are back. Happy National Tight End Day to all those who celebrate, including tight end you with Dallas Goedert and Tucker Kraft scoring a bunch of touchdowns today. So rocking my Tucker jersey in celebration of that. Joined tonight by Ryan McKnight, who's experiencing some lighting issues in his basement, and by Chad. Fellas, how the heck you doing?
You know, I'm doing good. I do apologize. I don't know how the lighting works down here, but it's working. That's all I do know, I guess. So I appreciate you guys having me on tonight. And yeah, it's National Tight End Day, so it's always a good day, I guess, right?
Yeah, there we go. Chad, how about you, buddy?
I can't complain. It's been a great day as a whole. You know, just got things going for the podcast. Skipped church, which is abnormal for me, but you know, sometimes you just don't feel like going. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't need to go to church to be close, I guess.
There we go. And the sun did come up today, folks. And before we get into what happened last night, we got to talk about Kubota Dealers of South Dakota. And they are our title sponsor. Chad's rocking a new hat. That looks nice, Chad. Wow.
Yeah, I've had it for a while. It's a pretty nice one.
I like that one. It's the first time seeing it. So John Colley is our guy. Helps do a lot of the stuff with the Kubota Dealers of South Dakota. It's his territory. He hooked Chad and I up with our Kubotas, our units that help us manage our yards and acreages in the summer, and then also help with snow removal in the winter. So if you need something for your business, your acreage, if you need a side-by-side, your farm, whatever it may be, talk to one of the Kubota Dealers of South Dakota, and they will get you hooked up with what you need. So thanks, guys, for your sponsorship. And also, we have to talk about our show sponsor, Ryan, is Hadrick Ranch. You know a thing or two about some Hadrick beef, right?
Unbelievable beef. Awesome beef. And honestly, a great guy, too. Like, just a great human being, a huge believer in SDSU and SDSU football. The best beef ribs I've ever had in my entire life this past weekend out at Tailgate. So, awesome, Troy. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to sneak over there and grab one, but, I mean, you know how it goes at Tailgate, and you're always busy doing something. I'm sure it's no different for you. Never get enough time to talk to any one person. So,
yep. And go ahead, Ryan.
Well, just what you were saying, Matt, was like the Tailgate was very comparable to Frisco. It was, I don't even know how many people we had out there, but it was insane. Like you couldn't move an inch. And people were crushing meat. It was by far the best tailgate, and I do think people knew that Hadrick Ranch was giving all that the beef ribs to us. I think they had something to do with it. I mean, it was unbelievable beef ribs.
Yeah, we got a lot of promotion with the Snapback Sports guys that you showed around, and that was part of it because you know we looped them in on Troy's post. Hey, guess where these dino ribs are going? And yeah, so you got to spend some time with them this week. How was that? That looked pretty cool on our end.
You know, when Dan called and said, "Hey, can you show these guys around? Give them a tour of the facilities, give them a tour of the dike house," and yeah, absolutely. Like I would love to, even though I don't. Out of all people, you could probably find a better face for podcasting than this guy. But it was all that crew is unbelievable. They're just salt of the earth kids. And I say kids, they're like 27, 28, 29, whatever they are. Just really good. They're really good at what they do. They have really bright futures ahead of them. I got to like them a lot. They're just really fun to be around and fun to talk to, fun to jam with, and whatever they got going on, it's authentic. You know, like this podcast and what they're doing, very similar. Where they just care, they want to showcase great football, great towns, great environments, and they do a tremendous job. And I don't think for 1 second they were frowning about anything. So it was cool. I take that back. They were upset that it was a bit cold out. And I was like, you guys got lucky. This is nice at all. You have no idea what cold is yet. So
yeah. They were a little disappointed on our Uber service. I do know that. Like they
so it's a small town, guys. Too bad somebody didn't tell them about the blue and yellow Bata buses. Maybe they could have took those.
Well, they were trying to call Ubers at like 9 a.m. I'm like, dude, that they don't exist until 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. So they were good. They got around all right. The one thing I will make fun of them a little bit for was I was like, hey man, if you guys want to borrow my little Jeep, got a little side-by-side Jeep deal, take it. It's got 4 seats, whatever. But the only problem is it's a manual, it's a stick shift. So they were texting a little while, like, yeah, none of us know how to drive a stick shift. We're all elitist out here. I'm like, okay, well, that's on you then. Like, yeah, you guys can't drive a stick shift. So,
yep. No, that was so. I had texted some buddies this, and I know it's not college game day, but their exposure for that younger crowd, that TikTok crowd, that like I think it may be almost more of a reach just with that crowd, right? We know the power of social media. That's how this whole thing is kind of blown up, is social media. And they're at a different level, a different stratosphere, and they are keyed in with that 16 to 28 age range, kind of like that. Like they were all, and Ryan, what you were saying about them being authentic, I interacted with them just a little bit on the sidelines, and it seemed genuine. Like Jack was coming up and asking me questions and stuff about, like, was this expected? What's going on? Like, just like he was genuinely interested and asking about the crowd, and seemed really cool. So he just trading DMs with him back and forth. Very impressed with Brookings. Loved it. They said they're going to recommend it as a spot that people have to go. And what the one tweet out, the guy in the sport coat, he goes like, SDSU's tailgating scene is, elite. Like, hell yeah.
That's a huge credit to all of us, right? I mean, like, you go out there, and I would say historically we've grown. Back in the day, there might have been 5, 6, it wasn't that big, but now, I mean, even when I was talking to you, Matt, I mean, I saw Chad walk up for a second, then got engulfed, and then just brief with you, like, this has grown so much. But that's also a credit to all of our fans, and the credit to SDSU, Barry Dunn, Justin Sells, saying, like, this is important. People care about this. You start getting people to show up to tailgate. Well, they'll stick around for the game, and they'll have a good time. And so, yeah, it was that tailgate was the best tailgate I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, and just we've talked about this before, like when Jake was on, what it used to be when you played, Ryan, and it was the Wild West back there, and it was $5 parking everywhere, and just insane, some of the craziest shit ever. It was like being at Wii Fest sometimes, but it's so different now with what it is, and the amount of sponsors that come in and guests, and ran into some people from up here in Appleton, and they were completely blown away. Like, their daughter goes to SDSU. She's in her second year there. It was their first time going down to a game, and they couldn't believe it. Like, they've gone to, I think, Gopher games before and stuff. They were so impressed, and like, we got to come to more. Well, yeah, like, it's only an hour and a half from home, like an atmosphere like this. So very cool. Good job.
I think one of the things they said is it definitely has the same big time feel, just with less people. And I think that's what we're gunning for. That's a great way to describe it. It wasn't like that 10 years ago. We've all worked really hard to build this into a thing, make it an event, a can't miss event. And the numbers prove it too. I mean, look at the attendance this year. We're doing amazing. People want to be part of a winning program. Granted, we didn't get the win last night. I guess we'll get into that here in a bit, but part of it's just the whole experience, Yeah. For me, it is for sure,
Well, and on to that, kind of piggybacking off of you, Chad, is like, you were spot on. Like, it was where it was to where it's going is tremendous. But I also think that does help. And I know people might say, well, the crowd doesn't matter. The fan, it does. Like, you go out there and you are a player, and if you're playing Indiana State or you're playing NDSU, and you know that place is going to be sold out. You know that place is going to be rocking, and people want to have that party or that atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
That matters. And I, as a former player, you come out of the locker room and I've played in front of 2,000 people against UND in 2010, and like nobody wanted to be there versus this one where it was almost deafening at times.
Yeah.
I do think tailgate matters, and I do think having people see that tailgate's fun, and it's you have food, you're chumming up with your buddies. It's a great atmosphere, great time, and the sponsorships, all over, keep coming in, and it's random, yes, but it's also people that they want their name out there. They want to make a difference. They want to help out whatever way I can. What better way than a tailgate?
It's when you have an event, when you have a thing and everybody's there, you want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's true for the sponsors too. They want to get their names out there. There's a reason that stupid plane flew around before the game during the middle of the national anthem during Hobo Day. You know, that's 2 years in a row now. It's not on accident. They know there's going to be a ton of people there. It's about reach, you know, and being a part of it.
Yep. So, I wrote this in Rants and Raves, but I really have to give credit to Justin Sell and his team, whether it was Slade and Ryan Christie now, who's kind of doing some of the football stuff, just with listening to fan feedback from this podcast, B-Team podcast that said, hey, like, can we lessen the police presence? Or, hey, can we, if we're going to go around and check people's ID, can we just bring wristbands with us and hand out wristbands when we're doing that? Like, that makes sense. How can we streamline security? You know, taking all of these things up, you know, the grab and go bottle station, I think Ben suggested to Slade a few years ago. And that's happening now and stuff. And just
having the wristband station in different places. I mean, we've made lots of suggestions that have been
right. And just knowing that, like, when we criticize something in the game day ops, it's not because we hate SDSU. It's because we want it to be the best that it can be. Yeah. And I just appreciate, Sel and his team just listening and giving us some thought. There's some things they can't do, and usually they reach out to one of us and say, hey, here's why we can't do it. And I appreciate that too. So I don't know. It's just, it all culminates in an awesome experience for people that want to come back for it. So
just like Brooke Mary said, you know, getting in the stadium was so much easier this game. Yep, 100%. The line was as long as it was the time that we complained, but we got in less than half the time. So, you know, if I would have had a Busch Light, I probably would have had to slam it at the end.
Yep. Okay. So let's get into it here because there's some comments, you know, people are itching to talk about the game. So certainly, in my perspective, not how we wanted the game to start. A 3-and-out was not good. The 5-yard run to start, I was like, okay, this is nice. I like this. Then 2 straight passes that were a train wreck. And then obviously NDSU got the ball back, and that was a hell of a drive from them. The crowd was lit, and it was such a damper at that point. I don't know. What'd you guys see, at least in those first 2 possessions?
Yeah, the back-to-back 3-and-outs are awful rough, you know, and I was hoping that we'd get some traction with defense a little bit. That long drive, you know, it kind of was flashbacks to back when we were still clawing to get on the same level as NDSU. And to be fair, this team's come a long ways this year. We have to temper, you know, we know that we have that championship goal and want to have that mindset, but also, you know, this staff's done a lot. This team's been through a lot. They've went through a lot of adversity. This is just another step on that trek to the summit. So, you know, we all watched the game. I couldn't go back and watch it because it was on ESPNU, which is terrible. ESPN, figure that out. That should be on ESPN Plus after the fact. And you know, I can't key in on any one thing. It just sucks because nothing's. I mean, a Bison fan's bad, but when when they're cocky, they're worse. And I don't know how else to describe that, but it's just the truth.
Yeah.
I would say, kind of just echoing what you were getting at, Chad, and yeah, I mean, all the hype, all the momentum we had going into it, and this team has faced a lot of adversity, and we all know that. I'm not going to sit there and play that old sad fiddle of like, oh, woe is me, because we are a really good team, and on this particular day, it just seemed that, like we had, the crowd was there, the environment was there. Credit to NDSU. I know they're always good. And no matter what, you'll never face an NDSU team like the 09 whatever team. Like, it's not the same. The win took out of our sails, yeah. And we got the ball right away, 3 and out. And again, credit to Luke Marble. What talk about a guy getting thrown in the fire for the first start of his life to 1 versus 2, all the hype, all the momentum. It just never seemed that like the environment was there, but it seemed that we were always just waiting for the one big play, the one big snap, the one big whatever. And instead of just trusting ourselves and trusting who we are. And because I know we're a good team. When we went out to Montana State, same idea, where you had that confidence, you had the swagger, you had all this stuff. 100%. Yep. It just never seemed that we can get over that and just settle everything down and say, all right, this is Jack River football. We have, what chases out good, whatever it is. And we can't change that, right? Like, I know he's injured. I know he's got whatever. We're not out there with 10 people. We have 11 guys still. And that was the biggest hiccup in my view was, okay, how do we address this? How do we find a way that get all of us on the same page and get all of us moving forward? And we just couldn't quite get to that realm where sometimes our O-line was playing great. Sometimes our O-line was missing a block here and there, or they're bringing a blitz, bringing a package. We just never can get fully acclimated to what we're facing. Yep. And so, yeah, the first quarter, the first half was really tough to watch. And I never once thought, though, that, like, oh, we're out of it. No, like, we can't let that happen against good teams. We get down against Youngstown. We get down. We kind of have to fight through. We can't have that. And NDSU exposes for that. That's how I saw that.
Yep. Yeah. And I think, in that first possession, I was disappointed. I'm going to say this because I hold this group to a super high standard, but I was disappointed in the chain gang, especially. It felt like early we weren't getting a pass rush in the first few snaps on that one. Peyton sat back there, had some time, some late deep crossers and stuff. And then after NDSU got into their territory, they crossed the 50-yard line. It was 10 straight runs, and they ran it down our throat and just completely displaced the defensive linemen. And that was shocking to see, because that hasn't happened to this group this season, where they've just been totally displaced. And that, again, that's the strength of our team, really, is the defensive line. And so that took me by surprise. They tightened up as the game went along. I thought that they weren't getting as pushed back how they were in that opening possession. So hopefully that's a good learning moment for them too, and maybe humbling. I don't know. A lot of that was maybe humbling, because I think Kyle's right what he said there. People forget that Dan put this roster together last minute because we're 7-0. That's not moral victory. That's a reality. Perspective matters. And yeah, like, we still have these championship standards. But again, where this roster was at in January, when we had 40 players that stuck around, or whatever it was, that's a lot. That's a huge change.
And if there's any perspective that I could even add to that too, is like, we had a lot of change. We had a lot of discord. We had a lot of chaos. And credit to Dan Jackson, credit to the coaching staff, and credit to the seniors that stuck it out too, and a lot of the guys that were here. Reality speaking, though, how many games have we lost since 21? What, like 4 or 5? I mean, it's not like, historically speaking, like, again, I'm not trying. This new standard that we've set is awesome. It's like, we lose one game, what the hell? What are we doing? Where historically we're like, oh, we drop 3, drop 4, we'd have some up and downs. It would be just kind of chaos. But like this, the new standard that SDSU set is like losing 1 game is terrible. We're not going to lose 2. And I love it because it means we're getting better. But at the same time, too, it's also trying to keep people honed in on it. We don't want to lose ever. But this team, this group, the standard that South Dakota State football is at now is remarkable. And again, losing to the Bison is you never want to do it, 1, but 2, it sucks. But I don't know. In hindsight, in actuality, it's man, we have a really good team, and I promise you, we will keep pushing the ball forward, and we'll keep getting better and better and better. And this will be a launching pad, yeah. And I know people don't have that sad taste in their mouth, but man, I feel bad for Indiana State next weekend because I think people want to get this out of their mouth and want to move on to the end of the season. Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, I want to pick your brain just as a former offensive lineman and someone that just knows the game really well. What's going on with our run game? 1.5 yards per carry last night. I got a lot of pushback when I graded the offensive line poorly. Coach Jackson has said at times in his post-game interview and stuff that, it's the backs, the new backs in the system. It's a totally new system for Juice. We got these young backs just getting their feet under them. What are you seeing?
Well, what I will speak from, and in particular, like last night, it is hard to, as a center, to come in there, brand new quarterback, and the system's the same, yeah. But even like the cadence is just, it's going to be a little bit different than Chase's. It's going to be a little bit different tone, a little bit different voice, and all that stuff matters. Because if you guys remember in 2009, we went from Crawford to Tommy O'Brien. Yep. And there is a little bit of a shift. It's a little bit of a kind of a zig and a zag. And from last night's perspective, I know this. If NDSU saw, okay, Chase Mason didn't play against Murray State. We got Luke Marble, a redshirt freshman quarterback. What are they going to want to do? Well, they're going to try to run the ball because Lawfridge is a dude. And we got some great backups, 100%. But, if we stop the run, we'll make them throw the ball. So as a center and as an old lineman, you're going into the game. Hey, I have confidence. We can move whoever we want. Having the cadence, having the calls, having just that little bit of confidence, a little bit of swagger. And credit to Luke. I know he'll be a great quarterback, 100%. But it's just a little bit different. It's just a little bit, I'm not even saying slower, but just a little bit different or off balance a little bit where it might just throw you for a wrench, might throw you for a loop a little bit. And as an lineman, if you get off that half a second too late, well, the D lineman's right in your lap already, or the linebacker's coming. And so people might not realize that, but it is a huge change. And I would even say, I think I think the world of Nate. I think he's a great old lineman, but having like a rotation, that also kind of slows you down because how Kenyon would block something might be different than how Nate would, or how much effort, or how much on a double team might be a little bit different. How they put their pads. And speaking from experience, it's not easy. And credit. I know we only had a yard and a half or a couple yards, and should we get the ball more to him? Sure, but if we're down, how do you score points? Well,
yeah, right. Yep.
Is what it is.
Yep.
I'd like to give Luke some credit because he just didn't have much time to make decisions last night. And that's a tough spot for that guy. I don't think anybody's putting it on him, but I just want to say that, he did everything he could, and I want to give him some kudos because he did pretty well, all things considered, the situation he was continually put into.
Yep. And with any luck, right, we're hoping Chase is back next year. That's the thing. He has another year of eligibility left. We really want him back. If Luke could sit for one more year, I think that would help him mentally with just the playbook and physical maturity, all of that. And the game's going to be a little bit slower when he's a junior then, be able to step in. So he's getting some good reps and good experience now. But Chase does have that year left. That's another, seems to be a misconception that's out there that he's done. So, yeah.
Go on. Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, even in today's NFL, we've got many examples of guys sitting for 3 years before they can really produce. And we see guys get thrown into the mix immediately. and they never really take off. And a lot of that's potentially because of that. I was just going to add that to what you were saying, so if he can get that extra year behind Chase and get an extra year underneath with Coach E, and Coach E will make a big difference on those guys. Just look at Chase this year. Like, he is at a way different level from everything I've heard, from what I've seen somewhat. See, we don't have a big sample size from last year to choose from, but from everything I've heard, for sure, he's upped his game tremendously, in the last 12 months. So,
and what's cool is like talking to like Sumner and like Terran Christian, like Chase is making NFL quarterback type of throws, and it's not easy. And he's got the legs to it, he's got the arm to it. And again, I think Luke did a great job stepping in. It is hard, but no doubt about it, NDSU is a really good team to get thrown into the mix with, and having Chase there as that leader, as that captain, as that dude that what to expect with him. I am excited to have him back next year, and I'm excited to see him come back this year still, because I think there's a lot of opportunity there. And I think, for what it's worth, the O-line will keep getting better. The O-line will keep meshing, and I know between Sam and Quentin and Kenyon and Papke and Wallenberger, like I think we have a lot of really good opportunity. It's just can we all mesh together? And I know it's a brand new offense with Isis. I know it's not technically brand new, but it is. It's hard to. The way you play fast is when everything is simple. When I'll never forget when Meadows, when he first gave us a playbook. It's 800 pages long and just craziness. But when it came down to game time, relatively speaking, we had 10 run plays we knew, so you could play fast. We knew these 12 pass sets so you could play fast. So that way it's not confusing to you. Once it starts getting confusing, you got to start thinking about stuff. That's when you start tripping up, and that's when you let up the sacks and you let up miss blocks and so forth. I do think this O-line is going to be the best O-line that we've had, and I think the NFL standards there. I think the caliber's there. It's just getting them all meshed together.
Yep. Hey, I just remembered this now that I was talking about Chase and injury red shirts and things like that, another year of eligibility. A family member wrote on Facebook, one of our posts, that Coleman Kuntz, he played on Saturday, first time as a Jackrabbit, so that's cool, the Sac State transfer. He's going to do one of the 4-game red shirts. So he's going to play in his 4 games and then come back next year. So that's big news, I thought, just to get him hopefully healthy and full season. So he's coming off of a surgery that took him out for a while. So that's kind of cool that he's going to be retained hopefully for another year as well. So we would like to see some more Jeepers, got to fly. We'd like to see some more action in the tight ends, right? We call ourselves Tight End U. And whether it's Grayton Gannon or Della Hoyd or whoever, Jalen Thompson, Dave Elpers, Coleman Kuntz, we got to get one of those guys just some more touches. Would really, really like to hear that. So, or see that.
I was hoping to touch on a little bit what Chris Howard said here and what you said. I think what we saw from our team is what we've kind of been doing most of the year. We come out, start a little slow, get rolling, and then figure it out, right? I think that's just kind of who this team has been all year. And NDSU had looked like that all year, but they weren't going to be that way this game. And that was obvious when they stepped on the field and how their defense attacked and how they attacked with their offense. It was obvious that it meant a lot to them immediately, and they weren't going to leave any second to waste. Not that our guys did, just they seemed to be ready to go at the first whistle. They didn't get put, you're talking about the defense. That was kind of shocking that they were getting pushed back. And, maybe that was some of it. I don't know, but definitely credit to NDSU and having that intensity from the first whistle.
Yep. I guess defensively, we've talked a lot about offense right now. Defensively, we still gave up 38 points. Talked a little bit about the defensive line. A lot of people in that first half were calling for a double team on Bryce Lance. What I was watching, though, a lot of his catches were right at the sideline where you can't double team that. And it's not like Oliver had, or Isaiah Johnson. Isaiah Johnson had good coverage. He was there. It's just it was a terrific throw and an NFL level type of receiver, like a top 60 draft pick, some people are saying. So, like, that's, I don't know what you do. Like, the kid, Isaiah was at, where was he at last year? Bemidji State, all NSIC, and he has battled for us this year. He's likely our best corner. And he was right there, and they were just completing it. I don't know what else you do, but I don't think you can double on those sideline routes. It
doesn't help to double on the sideline routes, I think, is the bigger thing. You have two guys standing there watching them catch a ball that's perfectly placed, and you basically can't defend it.
Yeah. Yep. So,
and on that same note, I mean, you're spot on. I mean, what do you do from a corner standpoint? You can only play so well, right? And that's where the D line steps up, and that's where you start getting the pass rush. Like, that throw might be a little bit off tilter, it might be whatever. And that just wasn't meshing. We weren't getting the best pass rush. There were some times where we showed great pass rush. We showed great defense, and in the D-line, the chain gang did really well. It was just tough. I do think Bryce is going to have a really good NFL career if he can run those little slot routes and kind of tuck back in and catch the ball. I mean, that was the big piece that they just kind of picked us apart on.
Mm-hmm. Seeing a lot of love for Kobe out here. It was super interesting. He played a lot more end than he has this season.
Yep.
I know there's some depth stuff going on there, but it didn't. I was surprised to see that. That caught me by surprise.
I talked to his parents at the JFPA tailgate, and they told me that was kind of the plan. He was going to play mostly end on this game. They feel like he's maybe his best at that position. I disagree. I think he's better inside. We kind of talked about that, but I think he's good at both places. I just think he's better as a down tackle personally. I think he's that's just where he, in my opinion, but that doesn't mean anything because I'm not a coach.
Yeah. Kyle's brought this up. Linebackers just getting too much depth in their drops. Got to know where the sticks are at. I would agree with that. Watch that, and guys are just going right underneath on some of those crossers. So, that's something I'm sure. Again, it's reps. This is still a young linebacker crew, right? They've been second and third string on the depth chart for a lot of years, and this is their first live bullets in these type of contests, and they're good. We really like them, but they're going to learn from this too. I'd take that trio of linebackers over anyone still in the country. So, yeah.
And if there's anything I could say too is like, I felt bad for our defense. I mean, they were out there for a long time, and at some point, I know they're always the best in shape, and that linebacker standard that we've set here for years on end. Yep. Well, at some point, man, you're out there for 22 minutes in the first half. Yeah, your legs are going to get a little bit tired, and you're going to have a few mental. And I'm not trying to give them any excuses. That's also playing good complementary football where the offense actually shows up, and you can start having those. I'm not even saying you have to score a touchdown on every single drive, but if you would just get a good 8, 9, 10 play drive, get the linebackers fresh again, get the D line fresh again,
yep.
and have that type of football. And it just didn't seem like we were. As I joke about those snapback kids not knowing how to drive a stick shift, it just seemed like our offense was like your 13-year-old kid. You give the keys to, hey, here's a stick shift truck or car. It just couldn't get all the gears going all the time. You would kill it in second gear. You just kill it and doing stupid stuff, and that has an impact. That has an impact on the game.
Yep. I want to bring up one thing again, Kyle. I'm stealing your thunder, man, because you've had a lot of good posts today. But in the fourth quarter there, when Nathan Hayes grabbed Kobe Bretz's face mask and twisted it and then slammed him to the ground. Kyle, I'm with you, man. Like someone on that field has to respond and put Hayes on his ass. I mean, at that point, take the 15-yard penalty.
Yeah.
That was a Cullen McShane or Mason McCormick moment where someone like that 15 yards is acceptable in that case. You don't let someone do that to you on your home field, especially in this type of rivalry game. And that's probably some of the intensity that maybe we were lacking. And with all these new faces on the roster, like this game, again, matters. Kobe Bretz is a transfer from Nebraska. You do not let that happen to you on the field. Like I get exactly what you're talking about on that, Kyle. And it just that video, I'd replay that video if I were Dan, like, and just say, what the hell, guys? Like, we're not going to let someone punk us on the field like this. Like,
I think if Mason's standing there in street clothes, he tries to start a fight, honestly. I didn't get to see it, but I would have been upset. I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know. That was just one last thing about that I wanted to bring up.
Well, that's that enforcement mentality, and yeah, I mean, you're spot on. That's when the guys come and rally, and again, I get it's young. I get you got some transfers coming in, but man, you put that blue and yellow on, that means something. That means something to the other 10 teammates you have on the field at that particular time. And from Justin Kubish's age, if that would have happened, you would see fights. You'd see, or Mitch Erickson, some of those guys that played back in those days. That there's times and places when you get them 15-yard penalties to show the standard, to show the enforcement that's not going to happen. And again, I think it's a learning experience, though. I do. I think, hey, look, this is acceptable now. You go and delete that dude. You go and throw a few fists underneath them and do the same thing, rip his face off.
Yeah,
so it doesn't happen again.
Yep, exactly. And like it just is a bad look. That's just a bad look all the way around. I've seen that video now a couple times pop up today, and that's going to get replayed by the Bison accounts for years to come now and stuff. So there's Mason in the touchdown doing a celebration with DJ Metcalf. There we go. Okay. All right. Game balls. So Chad, you said Bullock, Dallas said Lofton. I said Chase because I thought it was just a big deep fake. But it was I ended up giving it to Lofton today. Those were two great catches.
Yeah,
he's terrific. I wish he was 100%. He's not 100%, folks, and he's still out there battling. So yeah.
I would agree. I think Lofton, you get him healthy, because let's be honest, like this, we are a really good team, and we have a lot of potential to make a good playoff run, go down to Nashville. We need to get healthy, and if you're not healthy, we got to get the young guys to step up to make sure we win these games. Like Indiana State, I don't want it to be a trap game. I don't want to have the let NDSU beat us 2 weeks in a row. Like we have to make sure we're healthy. We have to make sure we're kind of moving forward, and the goal's still there. I mean, winning the Missouri Valley is cool. Yeah, 100%. Winning a Natty is even better. So how do you do that? You just got to win. You just got to go 1-0.
Yep.
100% on can't let NDSU beat us twice. We can't let this spill over and to Indiana State, who's a lesser foe, and even more so our next rivalry. And we've got UND, who's been on kind of a tear, so we got to play them there. So that's going to be a challenge. And these guys need to understand, and I'm sure the coaching staff will have them ready to go and locked in for that, but they need to understand the importance of each of these remaining games is to accomplish your goal, which is still in front of you, because, we can end up the 2 just as easily as we can end up the 4.
Yep.
We have to win the rest of them. We're going to be in the playoffs likely. I mean, I don't see a scenario where that doesn't happen and we don't get that chance. But if you go back and look where we had to go on the road and win all those games and go one side of the country to the other and all the way back,
yes,
that's a big hill to climb. So we got to do everything we can to get ourselves in the top 8 and preferably, that number 2 spot.
Yeah. Yep. Tate Lance, just here's the link to Rants and Raves today, and it was in the comment section. Someone posted the video, so that's the best I can do for it. Defensively for this game, I think I went with Cullen. Did I go with Jaden Lee or Cullen? I forget. One of the two.
I went with Cullen, but
probably didn't have to go with either or anyone. But I did go with Cullen with it. Chad, you picked MC Shane as your
MC Shane Train. Yeah.
So there we go. And then Chad, unfortunately, you were the closest on the score prediction. So
yeah.
I
mean, we've been at this long enough to see. You could tell NDSU had that in them, and unless we put it together, it was going to be somewhat rough. We had full faith that we could, but we kept kind of playing those same games, slow starts and so forth. And that's why I made that. It's not because I don't believe in our guys. I 100% do.
Yep. Oh, and then, of course, we always forget special teams, but Max Pelham, baby.
Yeah, I mean, that dude's stud.
Yeah, he's so good. Man alive. It's fun watching him boot the ball this year. And he has another year left, too. I stood corrected on that. I thought he was a senior and done, but he never redshirted at Mankato. So, he has another year left. So that's awesome. Excited for that. All right. Oh, we got to shoot. Forgot sponsor reads. Jeepers. Cubbies. Game Ball is always presented by Cubbies. Best spot in town. While we're here talking about Cubbies, got to talk about Deutsch a little bit. And his battle that's going on right now, just experiencing some difficulties and challenges. There's a GoFundMe set up. I know last night Tyler Merriam said it's already raised $90,000. That's incredible. And all of us have met. If you've been at the 9 or at Cubbies, we've all met him. We've all had a good time, and he's helped make that possible. So if you are able to help, he's one of the co-owners at Cubbies. Make sure you find that Caring Bridge. Chad, can you post that in the comments if you can find it?
I'm doing it right now. I was doing it while you were talking.
Thanks. You're the best. So let's help Jeremy and Deutsch, as most of us know him. Let's help him out. So good luck. Get better. And then while we're talking about Cubbies, it was pretty awesome. The Snapback Sports guys, we keep referring to them. The Chislik was funny. The screwdriver, I'm assuming it was. That was pretty funny to see their ratings of those things. And just fun to see Cubbies get such a shout out nationally, I guess, from them. So very cool.
Real quick, for those of you who are listening, and if you're going to donate to Deutsch's fund, and you should, the JFPA will match the next $1,000 that goes in. Whether you tag Jackrabbit Illustrated or JFPA, we'll put in the next 1,000. We'll match it for you guys, because he's a great dude, and Cubbies has been a lifelong member, a sponsor of what we do, and what Jackrabbit Illustrated is all about, what Jackrabbit Athletics is all about. And so,
100%.
Yeah, we'll throw the next 1,000 in. We'll match the next $1,000 from the JFPA.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. Hey, before we get into Indiana State 2, usually Dallas talks about Renegade. He's not here. McKnight, you're here. Tell us what's going on with JFPA.
I'll say this: just this past weekend, all the people that showed up at the tailgate and all the people that came out and been sponsors, that was by far the best tailgate we've had that I've seen, at least in South Dakota. I do think the JFPA match down in Frisco probably topped it, but this was close. I mean, we went through 16 briskets. Huge shout out to Back Alley Meats out of Volga. Dan's awesome. Helped us get those briskets ready. 16 briskets, 120 pounds of dino ribs, plus a huge shout out to Rick Thompson. 140 pounds of prime rib, and It was remarkable. Huge shout out again to Lyseth and Davis Lyseth out of Hayti for that beautiful smoker, because it worked really well. But yeah, it was awesome. I can't say it enough. I mean, Salem County Pharmacy, where our beer sponsors went through 1,200 beers this weekend.
No, really?
Yeah, that cooler kept getting refilled, and which was cool. What I don't think people realize, this tailgate has really blown up, and I know you guys have been just as instrumental as anybody else by pushing this. But you go to a tailgate now it's an environment, it's a party, it's an atmosphere, and just seeing all the people walk by and donate money back and give tips back and to like they want to help and they want to find a spot where you get great food, you get cold beer, and you get a big 20-foot TV. It's fun. It's fun to be back there. And so for our JFPA side, we just hit 362 members over the weekend.
Nice.
So people are still buying in. People are still coming back. And it's cool for me to see where it was when we had like 20 members to now where people I didn't get a membership in. Even like Kevin Roebling, the secretary of the GFP of South Dakota, coming next weekend. He's turning 40. And I get my membership next weekend. I'm bringing all my family back. And it's cool to see where it was to where it's going. And even if I could say anything, we had some Bison former players at our tailgate from Logan McCormick, Coach McCormick. They were all in their weddings and they weren't wearing anything obnoxious. And they came, they had a few beers, and I was just BSing with them a little bit about some stuff. And they even said the same thing of like, we don't have this up in Fargo. Like what you guys do from a tailgate side, what you guys do from a networking side, what you guys do from a just speaking side is remarkable. You guys should be really proud of that because that's going to be the future when we all know we're going to jump up at some point in time, whether it be next year or in 10 years. That's going to help carry it. That's going to help be the ship that pushes us into the new lakes and the new waters. And we're not going anywhere. And seeing these people buy in and care about it. The parents know about it now. Even the recruits know about it now. Granted, they come there and I think the last recruiting class, we did 105 racks of ribs for Hobo Day. I want to say they probably had 30 racks themselves. So it's kind of cool. It's cool to see that, hey, man, it's a whole bunch of old guys getting together wanting to help out because that matters. It absolutely matters.
They're going to have to rename your tailgate Rack City. Sorry.
Well, hopefully next year we got JI, JFPA, and the parents all in one little area.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And that's going to be the premier spot. And not saying not dogging anybody else's tailgate, but seems like that's where people have been flocking to, if nothing else, just to see folks and to BS a little bit. So,
Yep.
Yeah, and you guys got that fresh gear. I saw that you got those wicked north tail end zone hats on the snapback kids, and I posted a link here in the chat for everybody if they want to go find some of that gear. I don't think you guys really make any money off of it, but if you do make a little bit, it helps support the mission. So get yourself some JFPA gear.
On that same note, we make $0. All that money goes back to the team, and so our entire initiative as a 501c7 is we want to make sure that any dollar we raise goes back to help Dan the boys out. And a huge shout out to Dusty the Bruin and Koskevich and some of those guys. Scott Connick, giving back some beef. I know Zach Carter out in Spearfish has got a couple cows waiting for us to pick up to help feed the team, and that stuff matters because now now all of a sudden that nutrition, having good fed beef all the time matters. Huge shout out to Melcher out of Ace and Brandon to help us with the Blackstone griddles because that's how they cook them every single morning, and it's cool to see. It's really cool to see where this is growing.
Yep. Definitely that good protein that they need.
Now we just need
workouts and stuff. So recovery. Yep.
Now we just need a forestry sponsor to provide wood to keep that smoker going, man.
There we go.
It's a lot of wood that thing's got to use.
It chews through it. It chews through it.
Yeah. Check out that store that Chad put in the comments there, the links. We got our collaboration with Ryan, the Burn the Ships shirts. Those are there, really popular, awesome shirts. And is the North End Zone JFPA hats, are they on the store now?
Maybe those aren't. I'm sorry.
I don't think they are. If you want one of those hats, they're out at our tailgate shed.
I want one. Yeah,
we'll put some aside for you guys. But yeah, we got them out there.
All right, there we go. Cool. Well, thanks, Ryan. Thanks, JFPA. It's been fun partnering with you now for a number of years, and just watching you guys grow and the impact you're having on the program. It's incredible. So, yeah. All right, let's move on to the trees. Talk about the Sycamores, who are 2-6 right now, scoring 20 points a game, giving up 41. One of my favorite players in the conference to watch this year is actually Indiana State's running back. Nick Osho is a ton of fun. He's gained 572 yards this year, 7 touchdowns, a long run of 79. He's only averaging 69 per game. But this guy runs with some power, and he runs angry. He runs like he should be an SDSU running back, and he's easily their best player on the whole entire team. Just a fun guy to watch. Indiana State, unfortunately, lost their quarterback, I believe, early in the game or early in the season. Elijah Owens was probably going to keep them afloat this year, at least maybe a little more respectable of a record. But it's Keegan Patterson now, only completing 53% of his passes, 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. I mean, it's just rough right now. It's Osho or bust, basically, for them on offense. But have you guys caught any of the trees this year?
I just was able to kind of catch the score against the Bison. They kept things interesting early in that, and then that was the rain delay, right? So,
Yep.
And then after that, it was basically a repeat of what we saw last night. So, I think we shouldn't overlook them. Like Ryan said, like McKnight said, don't let NDSU beat you twice. They definitely have scholarship players on that team too, and we need to take them very seriously, and maybe use this as a get right game.
Yep.
Yeah, I would echo that tenfold, Chad. And honestly speaking, I know. Talking to Dan this morning, we had some recruits coming in, and I had some visits and whatever. And I know the guys are hungry. I know they're licking their wounds because you're not going to win many games with the woulda, shoulda, coulda mentality. But you cannot let Indiana State. You cannot let NDSU beat us twice. And I know Indiana State's still a Missouri Valley team. I know Indiana State's still a good Division I program. I know when I was a senior, we overlooked them. We dropped out there. So, like, this is those games that I know USD's coming. I know UND's coming. We cannot let NDSU beat us 2 weeks in a row just because we're sulking or feeling sorry for ourselves because of a missed block, whatever it is. This is a get-right game, yeah. It's also our offense saying, all right, let's get the cadence down. Let's get these dumb mental mistakes out of the way. We have to find a way to put the coals to them for nothing else, just for a confidence boost. I know our offense really didn't do much. Okay, let's put up 50. Let's put up 60. Let's get this right. And I don't know if Chase is back or not. Regardless if he is or isn't, Luke, let's get this thing rolling, and let's get tight ends involved, wide receivers involved. Let's the O-line step up because games are won and lost in the trenches. We have to find a way to put the coals to them.
Yeah. So 250 yards allowed on the ground and 242 through the air. Like, this is a good chance to get these young backs rolling. Maybe we see more of that power run game that we saw in that second half against Youngstown. I would like to see some more of that. I don't know why we're not using that. But if we're not, then let's use Basinger and Johnson and just hammer them. Let's see these boys. Let's see what they can do, given like a decent workload. And then, like you said, Ryan, I don't know how long Chase is out, and if we're gonna see Marble for a few more games, then let's really let him get in a rhythm and get some confidence. And again, it's not like this is the best defense. This isn't NDSU's defense, but this is a chance to get some familiarity. This is a chance to get some of that confidence, just what you were talking about right away. Even the cadence, right? It's a chance for the offensive line to hear the cadence, how Luke does it again, just a little bit different. So I don't know. I like this one. Should be another beautiful weekend in Brookings. And I have to go to a funeral on Saturday and then a family birthday party. I will not be there. This is one of the family packs. So I have 5 tickets that I'm just going to give away for free. 5 tickets for free. Just send me a DM. If you cannot afford to go to the game, or you know someone that can't afford to go to the game but wants to experience it, we have 5 tickets that are up for grabs. So just DM me on Facebook, likely send a message, and we'll do our best to get you connected with that. So wish I could be there, though, just to kind of see this, but going to be tuning in from home just so I can make everything up here that needs to be made up here. So,
well, one, condolences. That's sorry to hear that, Matt.
Yeah.
For the funeral, and 2, if you are listening and you are a former player, a former student athlete, whether it be soccer, whatever it is, the Jackrabbit Athletic Network, Jan for short, is giving away 4 free tickets to any and every single former student athlete. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of perks to be part of that. That's a free little social media website. There's no excuse for you not to be here. I think it's supposed to be high of 50, gorgeous outside. I have yet to figure out what we're throwing on the smoker. My guess it'll be epic and awesome per tradition. So show up. If nothing else, you got free food, free beer at the tailgate. So
there we go. There we go.
I'd also like to say that this is our opportunity to show everybody that we can be that number 2 team. We need to go out and beat these guys like we should. Like that. I mean, take the question out of, and we got people ranking us below Montana State. We've already beat. Your poll's trash when I see that. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. Like, we already beat them head to head. There's no reason they should be above us. Whatever. This is a way to prove the haters wrong, I guess. So our team needs to just go out there and show their mettle, show what they're made of.
Let me add to that too, because I know this. Everyone's been talking, we want to move up, we want to do all this stuff. Well, one thing that does matter when you are trying to bump up is that attendance. And so for a gorgeous day outside, show up. The guys still need you. The game, the season's not over. We lost one game. Move on. Let's move on. Let's get this thing right. Let's pack the Dana. I mean, it's 2:00 kick. It's a beautiful day. There's no deer hunting. The pheasants can wait till the next day. Show up. Let's get that crowd rocking. Let's sell out the stadium again at a 2:00 kick, and let's put the Coles to Indiana State, because that does matter, and it does show our support. I'm right with you, Chad. I don't know. Give us the 3. Put NDSU, Montana, us, Montana State, Tarleton. It doesn't really matter. It's Montana versus the Dakotas, and we just got to show up. I mean, that's the biggest key. And as a fan, this ain't even cold. And even if it's cold, I wish it was colder, because I don't know about Indiana State, but the colder it is, the better we play. And show up. The guys deserve it. We're still a top, which is funny. Like, historically, we've always been a top 20 team, top 15 maybe. And then all of a sudden, last 5 years, we're top 5, top 2, top 1, whatever it is. We've been good now, but we forget where we came from. We forget the roots of, like, man, we got to appreciate this. Like, this is not. It's so hard to stay consistently good. It's so hard to always be at the top of the leaderboard there. Well, what can we do as fans? We could show up. We could support them. We can cheer loud. We could spend money on concessions and do all that stuff, because all that stuff matters to this team and the program and to SDSU. And so if you're complaining about driving 45 minutes and it's 50 degrees outside, there's no snow on the roads, shut up. Show up. That's all I
There we go.
And be loud on every down.
Yes.
That's something that kind of frustrated me with this game was the crowd. They were into it early, and we went down by like 14, and the section next to our section, which is the family section, whatever, but they just weren't. I did everything I could to try and get them to get into it. And the first 5 or 6 rows, they were on board. They were standing up on third downs and stuff. But man, I'm glad these people are showing up. Don't get me wrong, and it's a process, right? We've been trying to get these people there, and they're learning still. But when we got people in front of you trying to get you up on third down, get off your hands. It's not that hard to even just cup your hands and make some noise. If you don't want to stand, fine, whatever. But we need that extra energy. Our players feed off that energy. And back to what you were saying, Ryan, I was thinking that before you said it. I don't know if it was before you played or even during your tenure that we'd always drop a game that we shouldn't. And at that time I was hoping, gosh, if we could just be 7-4, we can get into the playoffs. We got a better team. We've come so far. I don't think like that anymore. But honestly, that's where we were not that long ago, right?
No. You're spot on. Well, in 2009, the first year we made the playoffs, we drop at Cal Poly. We lose at home at Southern Illinois. We lose at Minnesota. Like, people don't realize how great this football is and how great this team is and the coaching staff. And the fans have really helped push this, and the coaches have really helped push this 100%. Well, they deserve to have a sold-out crowd. They deserve to have everyone be there. And if they're giving away tickets, if Matt's giving away tickets and he doesn't have 40 people hitting him up for 5 free tickets, shame on us, because this football team deserves it We are a top 5 team in the FCS, Division I football. I know this. I know if Nebraska was in our shoes, they'd be saying the same thing. Like, man, show up. Let's be here. Well, let's be like in Nebraska. Let's show up. You have nothing else going on Saturday. I mean, obviously, if you got family obligations, 100%. If you're just going to sit there and expect to watch the game on ESPNU at 2:00, shame on you. Shame on you. They're giving away tickets.
Yep.
It's going to be a gorgeous fall day. What is better than football? I mean, some people would say pheasant hunting. I disagree. Go watch the football game. You can hunt whenever.
There we go. Yes. All right. Got to thank Northwestern Mutual for sponsoring our picks segment that we do here. Northwestern Mutual, obviously, title sponsor of the Alex's Lemonade Stand Challenge. Chase is in second right now. Fourth, he dropped. Oh, no.
No. I'm sorry. I was just – we raised like a little over $500.
Okay. Raised $500 on putting shots. That's cool. All right. So we'll get Chase up there. I'm not too worried yet. That USD with Bauman, that's still very catchable. But Northwestern Mutual, I talk about this every week. I had retirement spread all over the places, a lot of different jobs, and they helped me get all that in order into one giant snowball, helped me understand the tax implications of that and getting it done. And it was great having them, and it's been fun as the stock market's been making some money. That retirement account's been picking up more and more money, and I am happy with it. I'm happy with my decision to work with Northwestern Mutual and Chris Schenkel and his team. And also, I always talk about this, life insurance. Make sure you have the right life insurance that fits what your family needs if you were to pass away. So make sure that you have that. And Northwestern Mutual and Chris Schenkel and his team in the Sioux Falls office can set you up with that. So thank you, Northwestern Mutual, for continuing to sponsor us, and for the Alex's Lemonade Stand, and for the donut I had yesterday. That was delicious. And Ryan, I know you appreciate their internship program from the students you've had go through that. So thank you, Northwestern Mutual. All right.
Yeah, life insurance is necessary, folks. This life is funny. None of us get out alive.
Hey, all right. Ryan, you're our guest. So who is going to be the offensive player of the week this week?
And you're picking for Dallas, so if you want a Submarino. No,
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say the offensive line. And the reason why I say that is Q called me today, and I've known Q for years, and I've got to know his family. I love his family. I love him as a young man, and I think the world of him. He called to apologize about how bad the game went, and apologize to all the former players of. And as you say this to me, I'm like, you guys have elevated us so much. You don't know us a damn thing. I'm so damn proud of what this program, where it's going, and where it's been to where it's going. I'm so damn proud. And just talking to him on the phone, I could sense his urgency, his sense of pride, his sense of the Hogs didn't show up. The Hogs weren't there. We let some stuff slip. We just weren't meshing, and excuses are the nails that build a house of failure. And I'm not giving him any excuses. I'm going to tell you right now that the Hogs will be the offensive MVP next week. You're going to see the new standard. They're going to keep elevating. They'll keep doing well, but it'll be the Hogs, no doubt about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I really liked his post game, and you could tell that this one stings, and he's not just going to take that on the chin and not move forward.
Yep. Okay, Chad, who you taking?
I'm going to go with Marble. Actually, I think this is a good game for him to really show out what he's capable of. We saw some of that down at Youngstown State, but that was kind of a last minute thrust into that role. I think Marble's going to have a heck of a day and be able to spread the ball around pretty well. I think we see a couple tight end catches. I think we see the ball spread to our other wide receivers too. So I'm going to go with Luke.
Okay. I am going to go with James Basinger. I'm going with Basinger. I called that earlier. I want to see him get a bunch of carries. I want to see him in that 15 to 20 carry mark. Again, just to get some of the wear off of Juice. If we had a game where he had maybe just 5 to 10 carries, just again, he has a lot of carries racked on him just at the start of this season. So I'm going with Basinger. Chad, defensively, who are you taking?
Well, I think I'm going to go with Logan Green because I really like his game, and I think this is one of those matchups that he's going to do very well against, and he's going to get a lot of pressures and then a couple sacks.
Okay. I am going to go with Isaiah Johnson. This quarterback likes to toss it up. Isaiah Johnson's going to get a couple picks. Ryan?
We did pick off Cole Payton. Like, don't anybody forget it.
Yep. Right. True. For my sense, I think Rip is going to have a big game. I was going to go with Logan. I do think Rip, he's done a tremendous job.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of his games where between him and Kobe, I was going to throw it up just because I know both those dudes would be playing with their hair on fire. I know Logan, Coach McCormick is going to get the guys right. 100% the chain gang will be – and I'm kind of with you. I think there's sometimes they did great, sometimes they did bad against the Bison. I think Rip is going to have a big game. I'm seeing like 2 or 3 sacks, forced fumble, a lot of TFLs. I think this was kind of a kick in our nose, and how you respond is kind of how the future is going to shake out for us. And I think Rip is going to be that type of leader. Same with Kobe. Between Rip or Kobe, I'm going to go Rip.
Okay.
Sounds like good. That sideline response. You can choose to do nothing or get in the guy's face.
Yep. All right. Score-wise, I am taking the Jacks 45-14. 45-14 Jacks. Ryan?
I'm going to say 42-3. I think just getting that sense today, talking to the coaches and just hearing that, like that gravel in their gut, someone's got to pay for this.
Yep.
And it's got to be Indiana State. And this is kind of like that lesson in life. Someone's going to pay for this. I don't care who it is. It's just an opponent to me. 42-3 type of a game. The crowd's going to be rocking. Our offense is going to come out, and we are going to establish the run. We're going to establish the pass game. The tight ends will be there. It's going to be a beautiful day. Bad day to be a Sycamore, but a damn good day to be a Jackrabbit. 42-3.
Okay, I love it. Chad?
Yeah, I'm in those 40s too. I think I'm going to go with a weird score, 44 and 9. I think we keep them out of the end zone. And we protect that 10-point standard that the defense always sets for itself. They're going to have something to prove, at least to themselves, if nothing else.
You guys, Tucker's being a badass right now again.
Well,
I love it.
What's new?
We're all in agreement. Jacks get into the 40s. A lot of points, Jacks. Not very many points, Sycamores. I love it. It's going to be a beautiful day down there. Stop by the JFPA tailgate. Stop by the JI tailgate. It's going to be a great day. Wish I could be there 100%. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Man. You're
awesome.
I appreciate you guys, man. I do. I what you guys do takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of miles, and like I said, you guys helped elevate the standard. You helped put us on the map, and so whatever you need, my crappy camera skills and my crappy base, just let me know. I got nothing else going on. So
that sounds good, buddy. All right, Chad, thank you, buddy, for all you do.
Yep.
Really appreciate it.
No
all right, and again, everyone that's listening and commented, thank you. None of this would be possible without you. So like, share, subscribe. Sponsors, again, thank you. Really appreciate it. And with that, go big, go blue, go Jacks.